of the biggest things I've learned, which I share as much as I can, people realize this, is that when a woman is upset, the best thing a man can do is shut up and listen. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to do anything about it. Just simply be present. That right up front, sometimes until he gets used to it, is say, honey, I need to talk about some stuff. Your job is to listen. Don't fix anything. Please let it go. There's a lot of ways to look at the world around us as being the answer will be out there. But the reality is it always starts inside.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. And today our topic is that perennial favorite. Why men and women are so different. Now, aside from the obvious physical differences, men and women don't always see the world in the same way. We don't always have the same values. We can't always communicate. What we're thinking in relationships is a mystery to us both. And yet together we make magic. So to help us understand men better, we've invited masculinity expert Barry Selby onto the show. Barry is a best-selling author, speaker, and love coach who's dedicated his life to helping strong, successful, committed women heal their hearts, own their self-love, and restore their feminine self-confidence. He's also the creator of the Attract the Man You Want program, which we're going to talk about in just a bit. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So I've got to ask you, what do women need to know about men?
Well, just to quote one of my favorite teachers, Alison Armstrong, women think that men are just hairy women. Because the challenge is that a lot of women don't realize that men think differently from women. So when men say certain things, women go, oh, he must mean this. What's the problem? Now, let's be clear, it works both ways. When women say certain things, men think they're saying certain things too, because we don't have the same language in their heads. Even though we speak the same, like we'll speak English in America, but the thing is, the way we interpret things in our minds is different. So we often assume from what the other person said, something's going on, but it may not be, or it is when it isn't. It's all these things.
So we need a translator.
Kind of, yes. At least an understanding, like a Rosetta Stone we can carry around going, oh, she means that, not this, or he means that, not this.
So could you help us? Like what I was thinking this would be great for is how to decode men's text messages. Like if you could create that, I would be there. I would buy that program.
Well, the reality, very simply, is that, to put it simply, men are more closed-ended in our communication. Women are more open-ended. That's probably the simplest way to describe it. Is that the way that when women talk, it's usually much more inviting to a deeper level of messaging. Like, for example, we men are pretty good at closing the loop to get an answer done, like yes or no. Whereas women have much more questions about the quality or the feeling or the energy of something. It comes through some of the wording. So what happens is when a woman says something, sometimes the message can be much more than men can handle in verbal communication. When I describe this, it's like, for example, when we get done with the day, like when men and women get done with the day, for men, a lot of times getting in the day means we need like half an hour of just quiet time. We can chill out, relax, drink a beer, and then reset back to normal again. Whereas women at the end of the day, where they want to reset, need to like express and verbalize and get things out, they can be freed up at the end of the day. So the difference in the polarity is understandable why sometimes we don't meet in the middle. We have to realize, oh, let's give each other space, regroup, and we'll be fine. So the message...
I totally get that, because one of the big issues is that when women want to find a man to be with for the rest of their life, they want their best friend. And what they're really looking for is their best girlfriend in male form, because what they want is somebody that they can talk to for hours. And guys are actually really good at doing that in the beginning of a relationship. And then once you move in together, he grunts.
Well, the thing is, the other part also, and this is something, again, I've learned over the teachings I've studied with, is that we are also, as men, are about, as I said, about being closed-ended, because we're basically problem solvers. When something comes up, we want to fix it and make it work because we want to be successful and be champions. When a woman's upset, for example, or verbalizes something she's upset about, men go, oh, problem, I need to fix that and solve it. And most women don't need it that way. They want just a man to listen. And the biggest One of the biggest things I've learned, which I share as much as I can, people realize this, is that when a woman is upset, the best thing a man can do is shut up and listen. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to do anything about it. Just simply be present. Because for a lot of women, what they want is a man that can be present to her. Doesn't have to do anything. I mean, to be honest, half the time, men doesn't have to listen to the details to know what's going on. Just simply hold the space to let her vent through him, past him. And when she does that, she'll feel happy. And he'll feel solid in himself. He won't feel like to deal with anything. Doesn't have to fix anything. Although there's part of him going, but I need to go do something, fix it. If he lets that go, he can hold a space for her where she'll be so trusting of him because he was rock solid for her. And that's where the best part of a relationship can happen, is where she trusts him implicitly and he feels like he's done the right thing.
So there's a problem with that. And that is, we've got to somehow find a man that knows that.
Well, yeah.
So what if our guy doesn't know that? He just goes into problem solving and we get upset and we say, but there's this guy, Barry Selby, you should listen to him. It's like, oh, I don't need another man to tell me how to relate to my girlfriend.
The best thing she can do for him, and so you don't, I mean, just to give it away so you don't have to deal with me, is the fact to tell him that right up front, sometimes until he gets used to it, is say, honey, I need to talk about some stuff. Your job is to listen. Don't fix anything, please. Let it go. And even if he goes, yeah, but it's like, let it go. I'm okay. I just need you to listen. If she sets him up that way, one, it'll let him off the hook so he can relax. And two, it's going to be easier for him to be that place because he's like, I don't fix anything. Cool, I'll just relax.
And we can't allow him to watch television while he's listening. I think that's, especially if this game is on, no, you got to turn the game off.
Well, that's the thing, is that also one of the strengths of the masculine, being the hunter focus, is we're very good at one thing at a time. The problem with that is we're good at one thing at a time. So it's a realization that we can do really good things, but it's kind of like, we're listening to you, we're not aware of the fact there's a train coming the other side, or if we're watching TV, we won't know you're talking to us. It's challenging because we don't multitask very well. Women generally do. So again, women think that men think the way they do. So when women are talking with their friends, their female friends, they're aware of the kids running around, they're aware of the street ahead, they're aware of other things. We tend to be generally oblivious. We'll have certain radar things we're good at, but generally speaking, two priorities at once doesn't work. One priority and other background things we'll be aware of, but the focus is on the one thing. So that's, again, the difference between men and women.
So another difference you talk about in your work is the difference between masculine energy and feminine energy. Yes. Could you explain what that is?
Well, this is kind of what I was leading into. The masculine energy is really good about being focused and directional because in ancient times, we were the hunters. That was our gift. That was our strength. We would be the bold hunters going at the world and either attacking the beast or attacking an enemy to protect our tribe. The women back then were really more the, well, they call it the gatherers, but they were actually more the gatherer protectors. They would basically they would take charge of the village when the men left to make sure everyone was safe, all the kids were accounted for. They'd also go looking for like what to get for the village for food and everything else and forage, but also keep an eye out for predators and protect them from that as well. So the energy was different. So that's why the feminine generally has much wider, well, peripheral vision, but also ability to see many different things at once. Whereas we as hunters would always focus on one thing because we want to be so focused on the target that if we were distracted, we'd miss it. So we're going to be on target. So innately in our sort of DNA, we have these different ways of approaching things. And the masculine, I would say also one of the things, the strength of the masculine, to differentiate from the old macho, machismo model of men, is the masculine man is also about that focus is something bigger than who we are. That focus is our direction in life, where we're going, what we're bringing, and how we're serving in the world, in our business or in our life, in our family, how we're doing that. That's that one thing that we're here to make a difference about.
So what about the feminine then? How are we different?
The feminine, I think the biggest strength of the feminine is this gift of being able to collaborate and really bring together people and everything that works. Because again, in the village, the women sort of form this network protecting the village from predators and keep an eye on all the kids. So it was a collective thing. And it's the strength of the feminine to bring together others. And sometimes we forget that as men. So it's almost like women are the bridge builders. Women are the strongest energy that's going to actually, I mean, this is my big vision of the world, is what's going to bring more peace to the world, because women are going to bring together those warring factions to actually create cooperation and to lead the way into places more harmonious.
So I can imagine somebody listening to this and maybe thinking, how does this play into gender roles? Because it sounds like you're kind of implying that men are one way and women are the other way, and they should stick to what they're good at because we've been this way for millennia.
Well, yes, and generally speaking, these are generalities. The masculine aligns with the male, and the feminine aligns with the feminine, or the female rather. The reality is, though, that there are variances because we're unique. Some men are more naturally feminine, and some men are more masculine, whether straight or gay. Now, in gay relationships, there's a feminine partner and a masculine partner, regardless of whether it's a gay male couple or gay female couple. So it isn't gender specific, but in most people of straight preference, it's like to qualify this, men are generally towards the masculine end of the spectrum, females towards the feminine end of the spectrum. And there are variances. There are those who are 50-50, those who are extremely at each end of the polarity. But the thing why I talk about masculine and feminine is because it's not just men and women who are straight being attracted to each other, it's the masculine and feminine energetic within them that creates the polarity, that actually creates the magnetic pull that pulls them together.
So as women, what is our job? Is our job to appreciate the masculine in men, or is our job to play up our feminine so he's attracted to us?
It's kind of both.
Okay.
That's the reality. Because the thing is, it's like the truth, and that's the program created, it's called Attract the Man You Want, is because, well, let me back it up a second. Women's challenge has been, in the world, they've been trained to act like men and compete and do everything the men do. But the problem is what happens, they end up being more in their masculine energy than being the feminine energy. Oh, sorry, let me read something about that one as well. Masculine and feminine is fluid. We can have both energies at different times in our lives. Both men and women carry masculine and feminine to different degrees. And so at certain times of the day, when women are driving, they're mostly in the masculine. When men are doing things that are more nurturing, they're in the feminine. It doesn't change our natural polarity, but it's innate in our DNA, like how we can do both. So, any context on this. In our attraction to each other, in the way we do things, we're so programmed into our roles. And when women move into their masculine, now I'm sort of including my own relationship history in this. In 3 different relationships, I was actually more in the feminine role without realizing it. I was attracted to very strong, dynamic women who were running the show, getting things done. And it's very sexy to me. I mean, women who are getting things done is very sexy. But when I realized they were in the masculine, and I didn't have at that time the awareness to stay strong in my masculine so they could drop into their feminine. In fact, I was in my feminine just to please them, to be nice. Attraction is an interesting conversation, and it's like many people pursue, or we're ideally pursue. The challenge, though, for us is often we don't see women, or should say, women don't necessarily open up to us to be the receivers of that. So.
Okay, so I have a question then. What if you're a strong, successful woman and you like taking charge and you like being in control, and you get into a relationship with a guy who doesn't like it?
Doesn't like you being in charge, doing things?
Yeah, because he is maybe like, you know, you were describing that he doesn't feel like a man when he's around you because he feels like you're taking charge and you're being in control.
Yeah, I've talked about this recently, actually. There's 3 ways men are in the negative around women who are in a strong, powerful way. What happens is that a man, like I did, would be in a relationship with a strong, powerful woman who would basically just drop into the feminine to create the polarity, or I should say to enforce the polarity, but would then be in service to her, like, whatever you want, honey, whatever you want, and being such this sort of very supplicant role in a way, which I look back and cringe in a way because it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I did that anyway. The second type is a man who basically becomes competitive with her because it's like, she's strong, I'll be strong too, and we'll do this thing, and it's back and forward, and it's very combative in a way. And the third type, which is the worst of all, frankly, is the man who basically doesn't accept that a woman can be strong in her own way, and actually will try and push her down to be in charge. Like, I'm the man, I'll be in charge, and you can sit down, woman. Like, it's very caveman-like. The evolved way ideally, is for a woman who's in a powerful role in the world, ideally can do it from a feminine place, but if she's in a masculine, which most women are in business world, because the business world is built for the masculine mindset, when she comes home to him, either she remembers or he holds the space where she can go, I'm done with that. I can put it away and I'll drop back into my feminine. And he either encourages her by saying, honey, let me take your purse and your phone and your bag from you. There's a bath running hot with soap suds. You go sit in there for half an hour and come talk to me afterwards. Right there, you just did it.
That's so fabulous. So where do we find this man? Now, you've got a program called the Attract the Man You Want program. I want a man who's going to run me a bath when I get home. Where do I find him?
Well, first of all, because you have the power to attract what you want. That's, again, the feminine strength is attraction. It's one of the things that women forget sometimes because they're trained to act like men. When you are in your feminine, then your ability to pull to you what you want it's almost magical. So the program I created is called Attract the Man You Want for that reason. It's attract the man you want. So when you say you want the man who runs a bath for you, that's part of your roadmap, part of your plan, part of your intention when you create. So it's not so much where he is, it's like, what do you want? When you're clear about what you want, you become magnetic to attract that to you. And then when you go out in the world, you'll find yourself attracting it. On the flip side of that, for many women out there who are watching this, they're probably going to say, when I say this, they're going to go, oh yeah, in the past, you were attracting the same sort of pattern in relationship with different men. Same sort of man, even though they may look different or have a different location, different job, different things, those same traits when you met him as they did the previous one, the one before that. That's because what you were attracting was based on subconscious programming. The old history runs itself over. So the Track the Man You Want program is built on the idea of getting clear about what it is that didn't work in the past first, so we can clear the slate and then build a vision of what you want to attract. And then actually do have steps through the 8 weeks to not so much just create the picture, but to walk through the looking glass into the vision and own what you want to attract. So you actually feel what it feels like. So when you meet the man, it's almost like you go, that's the man. It may not be that exact, but it's that feeling you'll have.
Now, for those of you listening, if you want to find out more about this program, we've got a link for you. Just go to yourbrilliance.org/Barry. That's yourbrilliance.org/Barry. Now, we're coming to a close, and thank you so much, Barry, for coming on. Do you have any last message you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Oh, just one? I say the simplest one is this, that I've said so often and it still rings so true, is that we're trained in a lot of ways to look at the world around us as being the answer will be out there. But the reality is it always starts inside. So I always facilitate with my clients a self-love practice, because when you're looking for love out there, you're acting from a place of lack. And the reality is that you are already whole. So remember that by simply remembering to look in the mirror every day and just appreciating who you are, loving yourself, saying to yourself, I love you in the mirror. Do that 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and you will be restored back to yourself and you become more attractive as well, by the way.
That's a wonderful message. I love that. I'm Amy Waterman for yourbrilliance.com, and thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Until then, let your brilliance shine.